Good evening, and thank you for joining Ramble Room. Episode 14, we've got past the unlucky hurdle. So this episode is dedicated to Ella, because I love you, and I'm going to talk about my dreams again, and you're the person I'd like to share all these dreams with. So if you're listening, if you're watching, this one's for you. It's also, though, you're going to have to share this one with Dave Chappelle. Don't think he's going to watch. Mr. Dave Chappelle. So I just watched Dave Chappelle's new special. And what's it called? Right on cue, right on timing. Thank you, Mr. Chappelle. It's called The Dreamer. And it's a hilarious hour of comedy. You were expecting that. I thought it was great. But it was about the dreamer. You know, the dreamer. So I won't go into everything that he talks about in that. You can go and watch the special yourself. What I'd like to do in this episode, I'm a bit inebriated. There you go, perfect mispronunciation. I'm a bit inebriated. I've just arrived in Bristol. I'm now in my Bristolian room. Treasured books on the bookshelf. What have we got on here? We've got the early Socratic dialogues. Penguin Classics edition. We've got The Last Days of Socrates. Plato. You know, these are the books I was missing. I didn't take these on holiday with me. These are the books I was missing. You've got your History of Christianity, Diarmaid McCullough, dear friend of mine. A History of Christianity, great book. We've got The Reformation by Diarmaid McCullough, 1490 to 1700. We've got a very short introduction to Christian art. You may be seeing a theme beginning to emerge of Christianity. We've got a History of Ancient Egypt, Volume 1, History of Ancient Egypt, Volume 2. We've got The Invention of Science by David Wootton. What a book! Have I read it? Of course not. Have I skimmed through it and gleaned some of its knowledge? Yes. Looking forward to the time I can sit down and enjoy that one. You're getting bored already. My apologies. We've got some Shakespeare things. Now this is a special one. Shakespeare's Advice to the Players by Peter Hall. I sat down with a certain... There's a place in Oxford called the Oxford Castle. And historic location. It is the place of the Oxford Castle. I mean, 1,000-year history. Now, every summer, Shakespeare gets played at the Oxford Castle. You see it advertised. If you live in Oxford, you see it advertised all over the place. You know, if you live in Oxford, you've guaranteed see the Oxford Castle Shakespeare play. Turns out the person who's been directing and organising and producing that was a former teacher of mine. He was a substitute teacher by the name of Alex Nichols when I was in primary school. He used to come into my primary school classroom for like 30 minutes every week and just inspire. You know, well, that's what he did to me. He inspired. I had no idea he had this career. Now, on my 22nd birthday, me and my dad went to watch Romeo and Juliet, which I had directed myself the year before. Anyway, saw this guy. I was like, hang on, I know that Don. That's my guy. So we went to have a coffee at Costa Coffee in Summertown, and we talked about, what did we talk about? We talked about Shakespeare. We talked about how to begin an acting troupe and make it successful. And he gave me lots of nuggets of wisdom, and he told me a couple of things. He told me how to cut scripts and make them, you know, how do you cut Shakespeare? Really difficult. You don't want to lose any of the magic. And then he told me, if there's one book I have to read and tell my actors to read, it's Shakespeare's Advice to the Players by Peter Hall. And it tells you how to do the verse, how to make the verse sing, how to actually pronounce Shakespearean verse. actually, we'll just quickly do this one. Did Ella buy me this? I don't know. Shakespeare box set, beautiful stuff. I think I got that myself. Little Blackwell's bookshop. On a previous visit to Blackwell's bookshop, if you've seen episode whatever it was when we looked at the Quest for Wisdom, you'll have heard about Blackwell's bookshop. Great place. I got this here. A little, William Shakespeare complete plays in one sitting over here. This one's the Bard's Guides for Abuses in the Front. Yeah, this is basically Shakespearean insults, a list of all the brilliant insults in his plays. Great stuff. And you got your Love Sonnets, Volume 1, little three-piece seat, little cube situation. Fantastic stuff. So, last but not least, humorous quotations. If you saw episode concerning childhood, you'd have seen me dig out the, Ned Sherrin's version of the humorous quotations. After Ned Sherrin either died or retired, his place was taken by Giles Brandreth, who then subsequently edited the Oxford Dictionary of Humorous Quotations. And if you'll see, there's plenty of annotations and redlinery. I've scoured this book really for witticisms, most of which I can't remember, but occasionally they come to mind. Right. I was going to say ramble over, but the ramble's just about to begin. So what we're going to talk about this evening, you can see the words are coming out at a high pace. That means I'm in a good mood. So, what's that book? The Life of Samuel Johnson. Ha ha! Isn't this the wonderful thing about going away for a while and then coming back? You just remember all these joys. I ordered this book. There is no way I'm reading this anytime soon, but it is a really important work of literature. It's James Boswell's biography of Samuel Johnson. Now, if you don't know who Samuel Johnson is, get to know. In fact, Samuel Johnson's life and work is going to come up later on in this episode as I talk about the English language. So this is the biography of this great man. Now, when you have a biography this thick and you've bought it, you've got to understand why on earth would you spend time on that one man? What's so good about Samuel Johnson? Coming up, number 2 is another book I bought. Just noticed it over here. So this is why he was so brilliant. Okay, this is his dictionary of the English language. So Samuel Johnson was a man who I greatly admire and respect, but I also have a sort of kinship with. Do you ever have those people? You look back over the centuries and you notice those people. They might have existed 1,000 years ago. For me, Socrates is one of them. 2,000 years ago, loads of people relate to Socrates. I do as well. But Samuel Johnson as well. You get these people, and you look back at their lives, and they existed hundreds and hundreds of years ago. But you feel their pain. You feel their pain. You feel the striving they went through. So Samuel Johnson, who was he? He was a lexicographer. You've got to get all the syllables out there. Lexicographer. So he was a man who was trying to encapsulate the English language into a book. And what was that book? It was a dictionary. Now, it sounds like a boring job, doesn't it? Making a dictionary. And he was, the finest out there. So when did he live is important. He lived in the sort of 1700s. Let's see if we can get a... Born in 1709, died 1784. So the English language was rich. It was rich. It was popping. England was a land that was full of cultures mingling and merging in the Tudor period and beyond. Okay, so he's living post the 1600s, post the King Charles, the Civil War, whatever. English language is rich. Who's involved in that? Shakespeare. We'll come on to him in a bit. So Shakespeare, and so what he's trying to do is he's trying to beetle around the English countryside, beetle around the English cities. Famously, he said, when a man is tired of London, this is Samuel Johnson, quote incoming. When a man is tired of London, he is tired of life. When a man is tired of London, he is tired of life. I realise the words are coming thick and fast this episode. I hope it's not too much to listen to. See if we can just slow down a little bit. So we're not going to talk any more about Samuel Johnson's because I could go on for hours. But great man. And trying to encapsulate the English language. So that's why we got those books. Sorry, I've just seen a corker. Paul Dirac, a scientific biography. Paul Dirac. We don't have time to go into all of these things. Alright. So, what's on the agenda? Dreams. So I'm feeling welcome. I'm feeling ready. I'm back in Bristol. I'm feeling settled. Just been out for a drink with my friends from first year studying physics. So we had a laugh. We had a joke. We had a smile, you know. And now I'm back home. I got a single. What have I got in here? Hazy Jane from the brewery Brewdog. And I'm just thinking of my girlfriend Ella. Really, I just love her so much, and I hope I'm not a fool. You know, I think she's just so fantastic. I think she's brilliant, and I want to share all my dreams with her. So what are the dreams? We're going to go through them again, and what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and reach some kind of novelty, some kind of newness. I don't know what episode it was. Was it episode 9? I went through. I was in a very anxious state that morning. I was very worried, and so I thought the best thing I can do is just lay out my plan for my life, and just go and just articulate what I'm trying to do in a sensible format. So I think we did that on whatever episode it was. But this time I'm going to run through those same 4 dreams. Theoretical physics, number 1. People in my life are going to be nervous. They're always nervous about me. They're always like, do the physics. So we're going to try and do the physics. So that's why it's number 1. That's why we're going to start with the theoretical physics. That's what we're going to try and do. And then number 2 is your Shakespeare. Are we going to put that number 2? Let's just lay out all the dreams, and we'll decide order of operations. So we got your theoretical physics. We got your Shakespeare. We got your radio station. And what have we got after that? We got the boxing. Okay. I don't know why my eyes are closed, but they are. So let's do theoretical physics first. Then let's do Shakespeare. Then let's do boxing. Then let's do radio station, okay? Theoretical physics, let's just call it physics. Because to be honest, I dropped the experimental side because it was too hard. I dropped the labs because it was too much work. So theoretical physics sounds impressive, but it's actually easier. So it's just physics, whatever. Physics. Physics. Shakespeare. Boxing. Radio station. Alright, let's take them off. One at a time. Incoming. Let's just make sure we've had too many beers. No, we haven't had too many, but we've had some. Let me just check, make sure the thing is charging. Because if it's not charging, if it's not charging, it's going to cut out at any point, and we're going to be in a grand deal of trouble. So, I've done a lot of rambling. I've done a lot of. If you're still watching at this point, I commend you. Let's go. Theoretical physics. So I am going to close my eyes because it helps me to think. So why physics? It's the study of the most fundamental nature of reality. Now, why is that important? Number 1, it tests your cognitive faculties over and over. The kind of person that can understand the fundamental nature of reality is the kind of person that can understand a lot of things. So that's the plan. We're trying to develop the kind of mind that can comprehend these realities, comprehend these deep ideas and understand them at a really intuitive level. And can we get to the point where we can understand them so deeply that we can explain them simply like Richard Feynman? That's the goal. Can we explain them simply like Richard Feynman? Now, I struggle to work at the moment. I struggle to do problem sheets. This is a big issue because you must have the ability to do 3 hours of hard work a day if you're going to stay afloat in a degree. You have to have the capacity to sit down and focus on problems that might frustrate you, that might infuriate you. You have to do that. So that's something I'm learning, and we're trying to combat that with the ADHD diagnosis. It's all very well being diagnosed with something. Can I make use of the resources out there and the people out there who are willing to help? Okay, we'll leave the physics there. I think that's good for the physics. Number 2, Shakespeare. So, this is why I allowed myself to go onto the tangent of Samuel Johnson. You know, Samuel Johnson, the English language. Why Shakespeare? Because he had a mastery of the English language, and that's what I'm trying to glean from him. Is that kind of mastery. Can we master the English language? Can we really do that? I think I can. Well, I think I'm not, obviously not as Shakespeare level, but I think I can improve in my mastery of the English language, that's for sure. And the best way to start is with William Shakespeare. What did he also do? He was a fantastic storyteller, fantastic creator and crafter of characters. These are deeply valuable things. Mastery of the English language, masterful storytelling, crafter of character and plot. Can we look to learn something from going on a journey? And the other thing with the Shakespeare endeavour is it's learning how to lead, learning how to create a team. I'm trying to do these things with the thing. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to lead, we're trying to create a team, we're trying to be positive, we're trying to learn how to bolster other people's creativity. It's not about me, it's about the team. It's about what we can do together. So that's the goal. But the nice byproduct for me is hopefully I'm gonna read some Shakespeare. We're gonna perform some Shakespeare. We're gonna try and master the English language. We're gonna try and learn about the creation of rich three-dimensional character. We're gonna create about plot, the development of plot, and can we become great storytellers? I think to become a great storyteller is a noble ambition. So that's the goal. Okay, move on to the next one. Boxing. I'm going to open my eyes again because I feel like I'm in a safe space. Boxing. It is to become a world champion in the middleweight division, the super middleweight, the light heavyweight division. We'll see whatever division I end up in. To become a world champion requires the development of discipline and the development of structure in one's life and the development of mastery. To master physical movement. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to master the movement of our bodies and the And all sorts of elements of discipline are required with regards to the eating, with the diet, with the... So we're trying to do some kind of mastery with the boxing. We're trying to mastery with the boxing. We're trying to become something formidable, something to be feared and then friendly at the same time. So that's the goal. I'm going to leave it there. We're going to move on to the next one and try and wrap it up before we hit 30 minutes. We'll easily do that. The reason I left it till the end, the most nebulous one is the radio station. I really don't know how, how big or small the radio station could become. It's really in God's hands. So I'm going to do my best to make it as big as possible and as exciting as possible. But it depends on the willingness of the student body to get involved, and our high talent individuals willing to give their time and join me on this quest to make it fantastic. But we're trying to create something really special with the burst, with the Bristol University radio station. We're trying to just make it the best we can. So, I've been listening to Radio 4 a bit. Just get a taste for what's out there. And I think Radio 4 is fantastic. Now, can we combine all the sort of, the energy and the sort of ethic and the ethic, and we'll just stick with vibe. Too many drinks to articulate properly. The energy, the ethic and vibe of different radio stations. So you've got a BBC Radio 1, we've got a BBC Radio 2, we've got a BBC Radio 3, BBC Radio 4, BBC 1 Extra. Can we get all those vibes? The sort of the energies, the ethics, when I say ethic, I mean the sort of... I won't explain it. Can we incorporate all of those and have all of those available in the burst timetable, the schedule? And can we get something great happening? We'll see. We will see. So, over and out, I think. Over and out. If I die tomorrow, I love you all. And I love my family especially. But if I die tomorrow, I love you all. And it's been nice knowing you. Much love. Over and out.